Board is called to order on February 18th, 2020. Welcome, everyone. Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This board consists of 7 members and 1 alternate who are appointed by the City Council and serve voluntarily. I am Chris Anaskevich, and I will ask the other members and the staff to introduce themselves, starting on my left.
Mike Flannery.
Ryan Barker.
Robert Eschenbach.
Ellen Crandall, Planning and Development.
Michael Fueno, Assistant City Attorney.
John Quattrocchi.
Michael Boutsikas.
Please remember to turn off your cell phones so that they do not become a distraction during the meeting. Please also refrain from having conversations in this room so that we might hear all of the testimony given today. To ensure a complete record of this board's actions, we ask that each individual wishing to speak, including the applicant, speak into the microphone at the podium in front of us, clearly state your name, and spell your last name for the clerk. Now I will ask all those in attendance today who plan to speak to please rise and be sworn in by the clerk.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give us the entire truth? Yes. Thank you.
Agendas of today's meeting are on the podium to your left near the entry door. Also on this podium are a roster of the Community Development Board, the list of city staff experts and their resumes, the board's rules of procedure, and the annual schedule of this board. Our first order of business is to review and approve the minutes from last month's meeting. May I have a motion for approval of the meetings?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Next up are items not heard on the agenda. If anyone is here to speak of an item that is not on the agenda, could you please come to the podium? Seeing no one, we will move on. Next up is our consent agenda. This board has adopted a consent agenda format, and the consent items are identified as such on the agenda. Consent agenda items are those items for which the Planning and Development Department recommends approval. The applicant is in agreement with any proposed conditions, and no written objections to the case have been received to date. Items may be approved from the consent agenda today by a member of the board, a member of the staff, or any person in the audience for questions or objections. I will read each item on the consent agenda item, and if any person wishes to remove this item from the consent agenda, please so state or raise your hand and we will remove it from the consent agenda. Items removed from the consent agenda will be heard in the regular order of the meeting. Items that remain on the consent agenda will be approved with a single vote. First up is case FLD 2019-11031, located at 2116 Palmetto Street. The owner is Marvin's Garage LLP. The agent is Robert Pergolesi of Gulf Coast Consulting. The location is 4.928 acres located on the north side of Palmetto Street, approximately 670 feet west of the North Belcher Road and Palmetto Street intersection. The request, the Community Development Board is reviewing a change of use from a 14,985 square foot warehouse to a museum in the IRT district for the property located at 2116 Palmetto Street. The associations include Clearwater Neighborhood Coalition and Board of County Commissioners. Does anyone wish to have this item removed from the consent agenda? Next up is case FLD 2019-10028. This is located at 11 Baymont Street. The owner is residents at Sand Pearl Resort Condominium Association, Inc. The agent is Roger Steffen with Superior Structure. The location is 2.408 acres located on the south side of the western terminus of Baymont Street and the north side of the western terminus of San Marco Street. The request, the Community Development Board is reviewing a proposed fence knee wall in the tourist district, the destination resort district of Beach by Design, and the seaward of the coastal construction control line for the property located at 11 Baymont Street, comprised of 3 parcels. Does anyone wish to have this item removed from the consent agenda?
Mr. Chairman, I do not want it removed from the consent agenda, but I do have a conflict in that matter. I've already submitted Form 8B, so we'll need to vote on that one separately.
Okay, very well. This will remain on the consent agenda. Next up is case FLD 2019-11032, located at 1510 Berry Road. The owner, 1510 Berry Road LLC. The agent is Robert Pergolesi with Gulf Coast Consulting. The location is 2.14 acre property located on the north side of Berry Road, approximately 600 feet east of the intersection and South Highland Ave. The request: the Community Development Board is reviewing a proposed 90-bed assisted living facility in the office zoning district and associated non-residential off-street parking in the low-medium density residential zoning district for the property addressed at 1510 Berry Road. Does anyone wish to have this item removed from the consent agenda? Seeing none, we will have two motions. Does anyone wish to make a motion for the items on the consent agenda?
I'll do this.
I'm sorry, sir. It's coming to my attention that the second case that we're going to, that Mr. Patapis has a conflict on, a quorum under the rules requires 5 members.
I have a 4.
Yeah, section 2 says and this is Article 4, Section 2 of the CDD's rules. A quorum of 5 members is required to conduct the business of the board. Seeing as there's only 4, I would recommend, or the city would ask that we continue that case
So the-
to,
Even though I'm here, since I abstain, I don't count as definitely quorum.
5 votes.
Okay.
It's been conflicted out, it's like you're not here.
Yeah, I understand. I'm conflicted out, so.
So the city would simply request that the, I think it's case.
Number 2.
Number 2 on the consent agenda to simply be continued next month.
Do we have a motion to continue case number 2 until next month?
Move to continue case 2 next month when we have a quorum.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I abstain.
All opposed? Motion carries.
So we're at 1 and 3, right?
Correct. We need a second
Both on
motion.
the we can vote both on the same. I move to approve case FLD 2019-11031 and case FLD 2019-11032 on today's consent agenda based on evidence of the record, including the application and staff report. Hereby adopt the findings of fact and conclusions of law stated in the staff reports with conditions of approval as listed.
Do we have motion made and seconded? Any discussion?
There's also some additional conditions that were sent, which are in addition to the report on the one case. You want to add those to your motion?
So, please. So moved.
Okay. Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? Motion carries. Does the planning director have any items for our discussion today? I guess
Planning
not.
director is not here.
Planning director is not here.
Planning does not have any additional items for today.
Okay, very well. This board is adjourned at 1:08. Thank you.
Sure, this thing's-